I got you.
All right, creatures of the night and the PSK Pod Street crew out there. This is Alex Dorio here, one of the co-hosts, one half of the Talking Taker podcast, welcoming you to another edition of Digging Up the Dead Man here on the Talking Taker YouTube channel. Going to be unboxing 3 vintage wrestling figures to add to the Talking Taker collection, going as far back as 1999 right here. Got 3 classic figures, 2 Undertakers, 1 Undertaker opponent. So 3 figures going as far back as 23 years old here. Gonna be very fun. Picked them up 3 very different ways. I'll explain those. I'll explain why I need them for the collection and what they're all about here. 2 Undertakers, Undertaker Bend-em, Undertaker Snappin' Basher, which honestly I never heard of till I picked up recently. And then this Classic Superstars Coco Beware for the Undertaker Opponents collection. One of the Undertaker's first, you could say his first opponent, the first man he ever defeated with a pinfall win, the first man he ever gave a tombstone to at Survivor Series 1990. So you gotta have a Birdman Coco Beware in your collection. And I'm going to be unboxing them, opening up some 20-year-old figures here. Man, there's nothing else in the world like that. So let's dive into it. Got 3 of them to get to here. First up, we're going to be doing this Undertaker Bend-em. Did you have Bend-ems growing up? Of course you did. They were, you know, they were kind of cool when you first got them because they bridged the gap there between the Hasbros and then the Jakks, the Bone Crunching action figures. And they're kind of a fun line to go back and look at and recollect because they are really the only line that goes from like that new generation of 94, 95, and it goes all the way through Attitude Era, through the year 2000, which I had no idea. I didn't even know till, the past few years that they really kept making the Bend-ems this long. I had them. I had a few of them. I had a 1, 2, 3 Kid. I had a Gold Dust. I had a Sunny. I remember, and I would get them because they were people that I liked, people that I wanted to add to my fig fed, and I wanted to give them a shot. And I heard Bend-em. I thought they were kind of bendable, and they are a little bit, but they just were not great to play with. Nowadays, they look really fun on display. There's a lot of cool things about Bend-ems. There's a lot of guys in the Bend-ems collection that are only available in that particular outfit in that way as a Bend-em, so that's kind of fun. As far as playability, they're not the best, but friend of the show, fellow Undertaker podcaster, Steven Zeman of the Collecting Dead Man podcast at Collect Up Dead on Twitter. He is I'm in a group chat with him and also fellow friend of the show, Randy Turco, where we talk about Undertaker figs and collectibles. We hunt out figures for each other. And he was going through his collection and he found that he had multiples of this Undertaker Bend-em that he did not need. So he asked me and Randy if I wanted one. We both said, absolutely, because I do not have this one in my collection. So here it is, Undertaker Bend-em. He's in the Ministry of Darkness gear here. The cool thing about Bend-ems, always loved the packaging with that unique drawing on there of the character doing the Bend-em there. And the other fun thing about them was the cards on the back. Every Bend-em had a collectible trading card on there. Some of them can be fairly valuable, some of the rarer ones online. You can see who else was in this series, usually 4 guys in a series. So we had Big Show, let's see, he's Paul White here, so he's still Paul White there, Travis's brother, Paul White. Mankind with the Mr. Sacco hand, and Big Boss Man with the nightstick. So, yeah, I definitely didn't even see these in the store. Series 12 on there. And, this is a hard one to open up because it's one of the older figures I've ever opened up here on this channel. But I really don't collect much mint on card unless it's really sentimental. So, here we go. I'm going to open it up. Yeah, Undertaker Bend-em, just like I would be 13 years old here in 1999. And there he is, opened up. Undertaker Bend-em. Can we bend him? Yeah, we can bend the arms a little bit. He's got the gloves. And the nice thing about Bend-ems is they did put some attention to detail in there. So, he's got the molding logo there on his gear. He's got the little choker necklace on there, the paint details. He's got the XT symbol there on his legs. So that's pretty cool. And they always had a signature there on the back of the Bend-em. I don't know if you can kind of see it there. Except the Undertaker's is not a signature, it's his logo at that time. It's not really focusing real well, but you can kind of see it there. It's that Undertaker logo. So I guess the dead man doesn't sign autographs. He doesn't have a signature. I don't know what the deal is with that. Cool detail with the hair, too. He's got it sort of that samurai style pulled back on there. So they got the detail on that. And that Amish devil goatee, as Randy always calls it there. And the one thing I'm noticing here, and, it'll be neat on display, but this is tiny. Man, this is a tiny Bend-em. This feels really small in my hand. And I've got, for comparison, another Bend-em, which would have been probably series, I'm just guessing here. Actually, I have no idea what series it would be, but it represents, this would be 1999 Undertaker, so this represents 1997 Double J Jeff Jarrett. And the reason I have this Bend-em is, like I was saying earlier, this is the only figure representation of Jeff Jarrett in this, known online as the Aztec Warrior Jeff Jarrett gear. And his one pay-per-view match with The Undertaker at In Your House D-Generation X 1997 is in this stupid gear. A match that Jeff Jarrett actually wins. He has a win over The Undertaker on pay-per-view, a 1-0 record against The Undertaker on pay-per-view, wins by disqualification, like a 3-minute match. So, yeah, that's what a Jeff Jarrett Bend-em looks like. And here is The Undertaker Bend-em just a few series later. Jeff Jarrett makes Undertaker look like Hornswoggle. Man, look at the size comparison here. It should be the other way around. The Undertaker should tower over Jeff Jarrett. And that's sort of the fault of the Bend-ems line, is that, they did not really pay attention to detailing, to sizing, to scale. They really got sloppy. They really deteriorated over the years, and so we basically have a mini Undertaker here compared to this Double J Jeff Jarrett. But still fun to add to the collection, still cool. I don't have enough Ministry Undertaker represented on my Taker shelf, so I'll always take another one. Appreciate it, Steven. Go check out his podcast every other week. He's got a brand new episode of the flagship of Collecting Dead Man, the Mothership. And but he's also got watch-alongs. I've been a guest on it a number of times. He's been a guest on our podcast. Go check him out as well. Thank you, buddy. All right. Let's do the Birdman, Koko B. Ware. Let's do him up next here. Hall of Famer, controversial Hall of Famer in many circles. A lot of people use Koko B. Ware as like the baseline of who should or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. A lot of people say he should not be in the Hall of Fame. I disagree. I stick up for the Birdman, Koko B. Ware. I mean, this guy was an innovator of offense. He was an early high flyer, a guy who jumped off the screen. Was never going to be a world champion, but it was always a guy you were excited to see. He was always going to pop the crowd. Sort of a hacksaw Jim Duggan in a lot of ways. One of the perfect guys to open up a show. You were always going to get a great match with him. He spanned generations. He was there in the 80s. He was there in the 90s. He did tag teams. He did singles runs. He was always fun to see. And if you go back before WWF, like in the territory days, he was a main eventer in a lot of territories, and he was super over, and he did draw money. So I think there's way worse Hall of Famers than Koko B. Ware. And like I said, of course, he does have an important part in The Undertaker's legacy. In that Survivor Series 1990 match, he's the first guy to receive a tombstone, first guy to be pinned ever by the Undertaker character. So very, very important part of his legacy there. Nearly gets beheaded by that tombstone. It's a nasty one, of course. Mark hadn't quite worked out the kinks of the tombstone quite yet. This is his classic Superstars figure. He, of course, has a very memorable Hasbro figure. I would love to have that one, but the finding it mint on card or loose with the bird which of course Coco always had Frankie the Bird with him at ringside, is very difficult to do for a decent price. And you got to have the bird with the Birdman. I'm not going to have a Coco Beware figure without the Birdman. Got a good deal on this from a fellow Major Mark in the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Facebook group, who was selling this for honestly a steal. Mint on card usually goes for way more than what I got it for, but he was cleaning out some stuff. I scrolled by, it was still available, picked it up for a really great price, so excited to add it. I'd had this placeholder for a little while, this Coco Beware Micro Brawler, which is fun and cool. I mean, I'll still hang on to it. It's the only Micro Brawler I've ever purchased and that I own. So yeah, that's a fun little placeholder, but for you got to replace it with the real Coco Beware figure here. If I remember correctly, he's actually in pink tights in that Survivor Series 1990 match, but I don't think they make a figure in that true Survivor Series 1990 gear. So this one will do. Classic Superstars. This one came out in 2005. Not sure what series it is on here, but let's check out the back. Love the Classic Superstars line. Says his debut was in 1978. Weight 245 pounds. Height 5'9". Finishing moves the Bird Buster, actually called the Ghostbuster on TV, but a reason, of course, you can understand why they can't print that on the box. Flying Dropkick Headbutt titles, U.S. Tag Team titles. Let's see who else was in the line. We got the Road Warriors in the blue gear, which I remember them wearing in WCW for sure. Doink the Clown, nice Doink figure. That brutal Andre the Giant, which I do have, that is so horrible with the wrist tape that he absolutely never wore. Shawn Michaels, One Man Gang, Bobby Heenan, and then this Earthquake figure, which oddly enough I used to have. I was not collecting figures during this time. I'll talk about it while I open this bad boy up. Wasn't collecting figures during this time. 2000 is when I stopped. Freshman year of high school, I told myself, I can't collect action figures. I can't play with figures anymore. I'm in high school, man. What if a girl comes over? What if they find out? What if they see toys in my room? So self-imposed that upon myself. But everybody knew I loved wrestling. Still loved wrestling back then, even if I wasn't collecting figures. So sometimes for, birthday gifts or random things, people would just buy me random figures. And a buddy at the time named Jack, for a birthday party I was having, birthday get-together, he bought me a Earthquake Classic Superstars figure. So I kept it mint on card for a long time. Sold it fairly recently, actually. I did, gained a little bit of value. But just random story that I had that one in my collection. I love Earthquake, but he never faced the Undertaker, so I don't technically need him there. Got the Bird out, got Frankie out, and I can already tell right now he is the Hasbro is nice. He kind of perches. I think he perches on his shoulder, or maybe he holds him in his hand. I don't remember exactly. We'll see how I'm going to get him here on this Coco. He's got the headband. Man, this is a nice figure. This is pretty cool. Oh, I had it on upside down. There we go. Look at the hair. I did all that with the headband, but I got to show you his hair. The yellow and the blue. Coco was always doing fun stuff with his hair there in the 80s and 90s. He's got these sunglasses, which are removable, okay. Sort of the sunglasses that are kind of coming back into style, weirdly enough, like almost like ski goggles or glasses. I see a lot of people wearing those lately. I don't know, not for me, but they seem to be coming back in style. Got the headband on, bird on the tights, yellow with the white briefs on top. It's got the bird on the boots. That's nice. Nice touch there, Jax. This is just a friggin' great Birdman figure. Birdman was kind of short. Coco Beware was on the shorter side, so I doubt he's really in scale here. And I guess he'll just have to hold the bird. He'll have to hold Frankie by his tail or something. I don't know. There's not a great way to pose him with Frankie, which is a shame because that's why I wanted it. I needed this to have the Frankie on there. Can you have him kind of like that? He might could display him like that. That would work. as long as I don't brush into the shelf. I'm sure it'll fall over at some point, but there you go. Coco Beware with Frankie. There he is compared with the Micro Brawler that I have. Pretty good figure, pretty good likeness on there. I can't complain. What more do you want from a Coco Beware figure? Removable sunglasses. Let's see there. There you go. You can see his face. You can see his eyes on there. Great figure. Love it. No complaints. And now I can officially say I have a figure to represent every single opponent in that Survivor Series 1990 match. So that's an important one to have everybody there for the Undertaker's very first pay-per-view match. I might do a video about that, just about all those guys sometime in the future here on the channel. Do need Brother Love, though. Don't have the Brother Love to represent him. And gotta have that. I'll play with Frankie later. Last but not least, we've got an interesting one. I don't know. Have you all out there watching? Have you heard of this one? Have you seen this one before? I had not. This is the Snappin' Basher Undertaker figure from Jakks from, looks like 2002 is the copyright date on here. Saw this bad boy at my local toy store here in Greenville, South Carolina, called the Toy Federation. Talk about them often on here. And I hadn't made it out there in a couple months, but I was able to make it out there last weekend for a little fig hunt. And I always am looking for unique Undertaker items on there. I've gotten some cool stuff mint on card there. And this was kind of sitting in the back. It is still in the package, but you can tell this package has seen better days. Woo, yellow, stained. Doesn't smell like cigarettes or anything, but was definitely probably in the bottom of a container or maybe just out there lying in the sun. Who knows? But this caught my eye because I do not remember this at all. Again, this was a little bit after I'd been collecting, but I still kind of kept up with figures, still read figure news and would look through the figure aisles, but I don't remember ever seeing this. I don't remember seeing this line or ever hearing of it lately, but it appears to be a we got real scan technology on the face for ultimate detail. And real reaction technology works with the Hall of Pain playset. Okay, so this is probably, I guess, the next incarnation of Titantron Live type figures there. I guess sort of interacts with a set on there. Okay, cool. Other guys in the line, we've got, so you can barely tell, The Rock, Chris Jericho, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Jeff Hardy, Chris Benoit, all available in the line. Let's open him up. It's already kind of just falling apart, but we got a Biker Taker figure. Let's see what he looks like. Kind of representing, this thing's kind of gross. Packaging, at least. Early 2000 first return of the Biker Taker, first debut of the Biker Taker. Okay, kind of a unique figure. It's like a bone cruncher, all right? So he's got the rubbery arms and legs. Let's see. Oh, yeah, bone crunching action there. And, elbow's not quite crunching. Legs, they move, they twist, but they don't really crunch. That one kind of does. So he's lost a little bit of his crunchability through the years. But, definitely representing, like I said, mid to late 2000 Undertaker, early days of the Biker Taker character, maybe all the way up to like WrestleMania 17-ish timeline there. He's got a bandana on the head. I guess his hair is tied up in there underneath the bandana, no ponytail, so that would be a detail it's kind of missing. Tattoos, not bad. Not bad for a bone cruncher with the tattoos on there, the MMA gloves, the jeans, the tank top. Pretty neat little figure there. It feels, it's got a, it's a little bit different than the original bone crunchers. It's got a different feel to it, but it kind of fits in there with that line. So it's like a next evolution of a bone cruncher, which is funny that they went back to that after doing the Titantron figures. The head, okay. So this is what it talks about on the package. The little snapping action from the head. Yeah, you can see the crunching of the head is supposed to be a big feature on there. I don't know why they think that's a cool feature. But there it is. I think it's maybe supposed to like do like a little whiplash type thing there. But I guess because it's 20 years old, it's lost that ability. He's got an earring, so that's a cool little touch. They didn't have to add that in there, but he's got the earring on there. So that's neat. I don't know. $10 for a mint on card classic figure that I'd never seen before. Not going to turn that down. So I'll add that to the Undertaker collection. A couple of really interesting ones. Do I need them? Not necessarily, but they're fun to add and fun to open up and pretend I'm, 10, 11, 12 years old again, opening up some brand new classic figures. So there you go. And a Coco that I do need. Coco Beware with Frankie, mint on card, classic Coco Beware. That's what I got added to the collection. Got some more to open up, but I'll stop with these for right now. Be sure to subscribe here to the Talking Taker YouTube channel for more classic unboxings like this. Like this video, share it with your friends. Listen to the podcast, Talking Taker podcast, out now wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to follow us on social media because you never know what more classic, new, exciting, fun Undertaker content we're going to be coming out with next. And until then, take her easy.